And here is the Writer's Almanac for Thursday, December the 30th, 2021. It's the birthday of Rudyard Kipling, born in Bombay, 1865, author of The Jungle Book and many other books. Rudyard Kipling, who said, if history were taught in the form of stories, it would never be forgotten. It's the birthday of the poet Patti Smith, born Chicago during the Great Blizzard of 1946. Raised in New Jersey, a Jehovah's Witness, daughter of a waitress and a factory worker, read a lot of books growing up, fairy tales and biographies, travel books about Tibet and the Himalayas. Went to work right out of high school on a factory assembly line, got pregnant at the age of 19, gave her child up for adoption, moved to New York City, had no money when she got there, so just walked around the city, went to Washington Square and Tompkins Square Park. Worked at Scribner's bookstore in Manhattan, loved the job, loved the fact that the clerks there took books seriously. She was going to stay with some friends who had moved to New York City and showed up at their apartment, but it turned out they didn't live there anymore. And she stumbled across an art student named Robert Mapplethorpe. She and Robert Mapplethorpe were each 20 years old. They became lovers, roommates, rented a tiny room at the Chelsea Hotel, which was famous for housing Dylan Thomas, Allen Ginsberg, Jack Kerouac, Arthur Miller, Tennessee Williams, Simone de Beauvoir, and many other writers and artists. She and Mapplethorpe vowed to support each other's art. He was painting, she was writing songs, poetry, doing art. They stayed close friends even after they ended their romance, and Mapplethorpe discovered that he was gay. And their relationship is the subject of Patti Smith's memoir, Just Kids. It's the birthday of the Canadian novelist Douglas Coupland, born 1961 on a Canadian Air Force base in Baden-Surlingen, West Germany, whose first novel was Generation X, Tales for an Accelerated Culture. It was on this day, 1924, astronomer Edwin Hubble announced the discovery of other galaxies. At the time, it was thought that our Milky Way galaxy represented the entirety of the universe. Hubble was studying the Andromeda Nebula using the 100-inch telescope at Mount Wilson Observatory in California, and he was able to distinguish individual stars within the nebula and calculate one Cepheid star's distance from the Earth, 800,000 light-years away, more than 8 times the distance of the farthest star in the Milky Way. So he renamed the Andromeda Nebula the Andromeda Galaxy, and went on to discover 23 more separate galaxies and prove that our Milky Way was just one of many little islands of stars. Here's a poem for today by Peter Meinke, entitled Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht. At Christmas, my sisters and I learned to sing carols in German. Grandpa would give us $0.25 apiece for performing, though only carol could carry a tune. After the start of the war, Father forbade us to practice, and when Grandpa asked for his songs, we told him they weren't allowed. You are German, he shouted. Sing, singt, meine Kinder, für mich. We stood mute, unhappy, ashamed, between father and son, locking eyes, while the U-boats were nosing the currents and propellers coughed in the skies like angels clearing their throats. Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht, a poem by Peter Meinke, from Liquid Paper, New and Selected Poems, published by University of Pittsburgh Press, and used by permission here on the Writer's Almanac. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.